Avi Meyer's Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at ntnm.org, where over 1/3 shows have been watched on YouTube. You'll get all the links. CommunityPolicingCaps24.org. We want to thank all of you for your participation in National Night Out. And remind you, the Police Memorial Candle Vigil is coming up September 13th. It is a pleasure to introduce you to somebody I referred to last time as a media creature, but he's a lot more than that. He's also the king of the selfies. He takes the best selfies, and they're consistently excellent. He took a picture of my interview with Phil Klein earlier today that is the best picture I've ever had of the set. And now when my out-of-town relatives want to see what the set looks like, I'm going to use the picture that he posted. And we're talking about somebody who is the man on the street on the Stephanie Trussell show. And we're talking about Mark Weyermuller. How you doing?
All right. Thanks for having me on. It's always a thrill to be on the Northtown News Magazine.
Well, thank you so much. And by the way, I really want to thank you for talking about us on Stephanie Trussell. Can be heard from 9 p.m. to midnight, Sunday nights on WLS. And you're on at 10:31.
Yes. I do a Man on the Street report at 10:31, so tune in on WLS 890 AM.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my friend Jerry down the block, he's a big fan of yours. And even though he starts work at like 6:30 or 7 in the morning, he'll stay up late on Sunday nights to listen to you.
Oh, that's good. It was 50,000 watts. It's heard in maybe a dozen states. It's online.
Actually, it's more than a dozen states. You know, if you're good with the radio, like when I was a kid and I wanted to tune in baseball games, there was an art to turning the dial slowly in a certain way and having a certain kind of radio. And you know what? I used to listen to the Pirates games on KDK in Pittsburgh. I listened to the Cardinal games, Detroit games, Cincinnati games. More than a dozen states. It's a clear channel.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's what WGN was the same way. That's why there are so many Cub fans in the nation.
Well, that's a big part of it. Also, when, you know, that also has, well, you're a Cub fan.
Oh, of course. You know,
so am I.
That's my sideline. I go to a lot of Cubs games. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see I'm around.
I know. I see you there all the time.
So.
Yeah, definitely. You're all over the place.
Well, my kids are in college, so I have a little more free time. I work in a real estate business, so I have a lot of flexibility. So I'm able to get around, and you know, I grew up in Chicago, and I love Chicago. I'm not moving to Florida or Texas, or if whatever happens in the presidential election, I'm not moving to Canada either way. So I'm here, and I'm trying to do my best, and I just love being in Chicago.
You know, it's interesting because one of the arguments I see used on Facebook a lot for voting Republican is that one of the Supreme Court justices said she's going to move out of the country, and if you know, if Trump gets elected, and frankly, seeing her move out of the country would be a wonderful thing for this country.
Yeah, well, I think all the gals from The View are leaving too. I think Whoopi Goldberg is going to Canada.
Whoopi!
That's my favorite show.
You know something? When I
other than your show.
Oh, thank you.
It's my second favorite show.
When I have to wake up between 10 and 11, because I do work late nights a lot of times, that's when I do my best writing, I always set my timer to go off about 2 minutes into The View, because the sounds of those women's voices is so grating that I have to jump out of bed immediately and shut the TV. And that's my alarm.
Well, it's a good show. I try to watch everything because I watch CNN, Fox, NBC.
Yeah.
I look at the New York Times. I look a lot at the Drudge Report. And, of course, you know, I write on Illinois Review, IllinoisReview.com. I write a story or two a week.
I heard Sunday night you got 6 stories that you're working on right now.
Yeah, I got to get to work on those. There's so much going on. There's, you know, besides Trump and Clinton, we got immigration, we got crime in Chicago, we got terrorism. I mean, there's just no end. We got the pension mess. We got the budget crisis. There's no shortage of things you can write about.
No, not at all. But you know what? It's to be remembered that our legislature is the finest that money can buy.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, Illinois has 43,000 elected officials. So it's hard to keep.
Really?
I know a lot of them. And we have, you know, 7,000 taxing districts. We have Chicago. We have 50 aldermen. We have a lot of government here.
We have more than twice as many branches of government or government departments than any other state. You know, even though, you know, we've got, what, about 12 million people, and California's got close to 50 or something like that. We've got more than twice as many things as California.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we have 13 million, but we had 14 million. We just lost a congressional seat. So people are leaving Illinois. Did you know that there are 6,000 less kids in Chicago public schools this year compared to last year?
That doesn't surprise me, because anybody smart who wants to give their kids a good education is leaving town. And the interesting thing is that the biggest losses now are among black middle-class families.
Oh, yeah.
Who don't want any part of the educational system or the problems in certain neighborhoods.
And they're leaving for the suburbs, they're leaving for Texas, they're leaving for Florida, they're leaving everywhere. And they're not moving here. That's another big thing.
At one point, Illinois right now has, I believe, 20 electoral votes. Or maybe it's 19. It keeps going down. When I was a kid and I first started following politics, we had 24 congressional districts.
We've lost a lot over our lifetimes.
Yeah, and you know what? Because people are smart. They're leaving here like crazy. You know, people can complain all they want about the, you know, about the horrible Republican governments in Indiana and Wisconsin and Iowa next door, but they're all experiencing growth. And you see businesses move just across the border, and Illinois people go there like crazy because they're not crazy tax and spend types in those places like you know, garbage like Preckwinkle and Rom, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah. Well, the taxes are a big deal. And it's for me, that's probably my single biggest issue: property tax and sales tax and income tax.
You know what? It's one thing if the money actually went somewhere real. If the money actually accomplished something other than lining some politician's pockets or whatever else. But that's not the case. You know, the lottery was supposed to all go to education, and it solved the education problems.
I was in high school when the lottery started. It was going to solve all our funding.
You know, it's funny because Washington, D.C. has one of the worst school systems of any major city, and they're in the top 2 in spending per pupil. It's not always the amount of money you throw into something that makes a difference. It's the quality of the people, the system, and in some cases, and in a lot of cases, if the parents don't want to participate and educate their kids, it's a lost cause in the first place.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's and Chicago is spending a lot of money. Just this week, they're extending the budget by like millions, 100 million, even though there's 6,000 less kids. They probably should close a dozen schools, but they just don't want to face laying off teachers or not hiring teachers, and it's basically a job machine. There's not a lot of focus on the parents, the taxpayers, businesses, and the kids. The whole focus is on the teachers, the union keeping the thing going, and the vendors and the contractors.
Yeah, the union, you know, you would think that the teachers would be for the kids, but the union is dead set. The union figures the making it the maximum amount of money for teachers is more important than the education of the kids. As far as I'm concerned, the Chicago Teachers Union is anti-education.
Oh, yeah, and this whole pension mess. I mean, they basically have, we call it deferred wages.
In fact, that's where Joe Dusek, I think, is the guy that actually wound up introducing us.
Good guy.
He's a really great guy.
Very
Hi,
good.
Joe. We'll get you back.
He's busy. He's in law school now, so he's
Really?
working very hard. He's he's maybe the oldest student there. I don't want to say, but he's enjoying it.
I know
very
people
good.
that became lawyers in their 60s, older than.
Well, he's already a college professor, so this is like a whole go around for him. So
He'll be good at it. He really will.
Oh yeah, he's a staunch Republican too. So.
No question about it. And
I don't know, who. I can't speak for him, but I'm supporting Donald Trump.
I do. We've got half a minute, so he's a definitely. I heard him argue with Stephanie Trussell.
Stephanie Trussell.
Trussell. I'm sorry, Stephanie, and I look forward to when
she's going to be on the show soon here.
Listen, she just moved here. She's in DuPage County. Let her settle in, get comfortable. Be happy to have her on after the election, because it's going to be pretty much elected officials from here on in. I want to thank you very much, Mark Weyermuller.
Thanks for having me on.
I want to thank all of you for joining us today. Thank you, Sonny Hirsch. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye.